Paige take your phone calls. Now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Yeah, this was...
Wait, a little bit of... We weren't kidding when we said we're having a storm here, so we got struck or something. We got zapped.
Anyway, we're back. I'd like to talk about this article that I found said soft drink giants are under pressure as millennials ditch the sugar.
Hey, good for you, millennials. You're making some good choices. You know, we always talk, Nico, about the bad choices and how we're being bombarded by foods, but it does look like the power of the information system that we have going and the social media, people are starting to get the message that we need to make better choices in what we drink and eat.
Yeah. They have a graph on here, in fact, in the
shows a decade of decline. This was in Australia, but it shows the consumption
these aren't coming up either.
Yeah, we've got that weird, we got all kinds of weird things, but maybe you can see, the graph, guys.
Well,
it shows a decline in consumption of soft drinks. And the major reason...
yeah, there it is right there. That's the decline right there. Well, the major reason, of course, is awareness and people talking about that we're eating way too much sugar. There's no doubt about it, because if you go to the bottom here and see how many calories there are in these sodas, and we're talking about major. Now, this is based on a 4-gram teaspoon, 16 teaspoons in a Coca-Cola.
Yes, let me interject. Yes. I mentioned to you I was trying to draw it before we started the new session, but there was a new documentary out.
Okay.
I saw the trailer last night. Maybe it'll come to me on the next break.
Okay.
But the gentleman that did it kind of followed the same guy that did the whole Super Size Me.
Okay.
Morgan. He went and decided to eat
all this low-fat stuff?
All these marketed as healthy foods that are low fat, but when you actually look at the labels, you see that there's a lot of added sugars and chemicals.
Right.
Took 60 days for him to be diagnosed with fatty liver disease.
Now, did they diagnose him beforehand to make sure that he was a clean version of
They took it,
and
and I didn't see the whole movie, but if I can, I'll try and find the clip. I went through my news feed last night, but what they showed is they put a round table very much like ours, and they put sugar cubes on it and said that the average teenager today eats 48 teaspoons of sugar.
A day?
Exactly. And so we're looking at this. Yeah, there you go. There's that Coca-Cola Classic with 16 teaspoons.
Yeah, so they have the new one. That's the Coca-Cola Life, 10 teaspoons. Solo is 18 teaspoons. The V Energy Drink Green is 16 teaspoons. And the Lipton Iced Tea is... also 8 teaspoons. So there's a lot in there.
Yeah, and I look at this, and I'm telling you, I see it, because I have my son's 18, and you know how he works out.
Yes.
And he works out, still working on his diet. I mean, when he has a choice, he makes pretty good choices. Sometimes, not always.
Yeah.
But I was really trying to impress upon him this exact thing, and I'm going to really have to pull this up, because I said, you know, you don't realize it. He's working outside this summer. When you drink those sugar-sweetened teas, when you drink those, lemonades, even though you think, maybe you're not having the worst thing because you're not drinking a Coke or everything, we still have tons of sugar.
Yeah.
And so, you can have all this rip, but you still have that little tire around the belly. It's related to this sugar that the body can't process.
It's very difficult, and I think one of the worst things is then the no sugar or the diet sodas that don't have any sugar, but really your body responds to it just like sugar. This is what we've been finding out in the laboratory and through different kinds of clinics and tests, that your body reacts the same way. It doesn't know it's not sugar because it's getting the same kind of programming from a taste each time you have it. In many cases, the diet versions are worse because they kind of hide the fact that sooner or later you're going to get whacked with some kind of modern disease.
Well, what we've also seen is that those two artificial sugars, aspartame and Splenda, the truth about Splenda.com, these are chemicals that have other neurological impact on the brain and still messes with the neurotransmitter's ability to tell your body how to properly respond. Even though it's not a sugar, it tells the body to respond in the same way.
Right.
So the fat storage continues.
And that's the real key, is the fat storage, and along with it, the insulin gets stored because that's always overproduced. And along with it, folks, all the toxins in your body are hiding in those things and being stored in your body, waiting for it to be released.
And, you know, I think it's worth it because we got a minute and finish this up. You know, it's kind of great news. According to this survey of more than 1,500 consumers by Morgan Stanley conducted this survey, you know, 48% of the respondents do not consume or have cut out these sodas. So these soft drink companies are starting to be concerned, particularly when they see their millennials stopping. They look at that as their
so they're actually getting in more business of selling water and selling more healthy type drinks, the coconut juices and things that are out there. Coca-Cola has those, Pepsi has those, all these big companies, they have to. So they're still going to be impacting us because first of all, I think in a modern age, water should be free. Good, clean water should be free for everybody.
And
our Earth is made of water, folks. Why should we be paying for this? But that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story.
877-927-6648 is the number here, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Please pick up some Primal Edge and other stuff.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit tfnn.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hey, and welcome back. You know, last time we were just talking a little bit about, people were starting to make better choices about what they drink.
Can I interject just because you mentioned the word choices, and because we've had this fiasco with the electronics going off and everything like that, I really have not mentioned that my newsletter is out there. I want people to take a look at the newsletter. I want people to look at the Primal Edge and make a decision if you're going to get on the Primal Edge or not. So these are something you can do on the TFNN site, so please go to TFNN.com and look at those products. These are the only products that Paige and I sell, and they're for the betterment of your health and exploring that whole situation of our modern living dilemma that we always talk about. And our number here is 877-927-6648. Go ahead.
That's a great way to kind of get the focus of the show. Yeah, we appreciate your support. We appreciate you listening, because we're really here to help you. We're on our own journey, and we feel that the information that we're looking at it's not just important for us, it's important for you too and your family.
Yes.
So we're talking about what we can choose to drink.
Yeah.
And it looks like, despite some of the bad news we see in the press, that, there's all these toxic foods, or I call it frankenfoods, or food-like substances, that there's some evidence that people are starting to vote with their forks and their straws.
Sure.
And they're choosing what to have. And I wanted to share something. Many of you know I'm very passionate about water. I consider myself sort of a self-water researcher. I'm very interested in, for example, Gerald Pollack's work on the fourth phase of water.
Right.
The fact that water is actually a crystalline matrix, and that, in effect, since we are sacks of salt water, that's really what we are too. And I saw this article and I shared it with you. It's called The Blue Solar Water Heals Your Body and Spirit, and here's how to make it. So simple, folks.
It's pretty cool. I mean, these flasks, that's maybe one of the ancient glass-blowing techniques of blue.
Right.
And we certainly use blue in Holland and Canada too. So
well, what we realize is that, colors are healing. Colors are frequency. They have a vibration, they have a frequency, and they're important. Blue is also, interestingly enough, the color of the throat chakra. And if you would like to have a little bit of, metaphysical, spiritual anatomy overview here, our throat chakra then is actually the bridge from what we call our physical chakras, solar plexus and the root chakras, and what we become the spiritual, or the bridge to making it happen. So that's why the color blue is always associated with peace and calm and tranquility and strength. So we know that water carries vibrations and energy signature, and we want to tell you that it's so simple to make. To get a blue glass. For that matter, really.
Is there a special blue glass?
Not particularly.
Okay.
You can get.
We have them pictured here in the chat room.
Yeah, enjoy. Go find some beautiful vessels that you find. However, you don't want to have a metal stopper. And I didn't understand why. I didn't know that.
Well, I think because of electricity.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So a rubber stopper. But, we want to just to highlight again why the blue is, it is the color of the fifth chakra, or the so-called power center. It's important because that's how the energy gets to the higher energy centers.
Well, it's just another tool we can use. We talk about structured water. This is another way of maybe having some structured water. I don't know if they call it
the sun structures in itself, and that's why I believe that putting your water
without movement.
Well, there is movement in light, actually.
That's true, yeah.
In Japan,
very cool.
Several major railway companies actually switched to blue lighting, and they had tremendous drops in crime, where they had, or to sadness, suicides and so forth that had been happening in their area. For example, they had 640 suicides 1 year after they switched in 2008, and they installed these blue lights. They dropped to 0 suicides. Isn't that interesting?
That's very cool.
So I am working on some research. It's called the power of pigments. Because again, pigments are ultraviolet frequencies that we don't see. So if you understand that in the visible light spectrum, we are only seeing about this much.
Right, right.
You can almost kind of correlate that with, if we only use 10% of our DNA, that other 90% they call junk, guys, it's not junk. Same with the light spectrum. I believe there's a tie into this.
So all you need is blue glass bottle. The shade of blue is not important. Fill it up with filtered spring or plain tap water. You also need to make sure, and I would say unfluoridated.
Unfluoridated, which of course we don't have that option here.
Right. You also need to make sure that the cap you seal the bottle was not made out of metal, like you said. Can be glass or plastic, but never use metal. The cap only serves as protection against dust or insects. They are very fond of this water. So the bottles should be kept in the on the sun
for up to 12 hours.
12
After
hours.
that, not necessary. Then take your charged water and put it in another container, and then start another batch.
And the longer you keep it in the sun, the sweeter the taste gets. But not to keep it longer than 12 hours.
So these are tools you can use, tips, tools, and techniques to help you
Pretty
be
cool
healthier and wealthier and live longer and stronger.
Yep.
I
That's
like
what
it.
it's all about. You know, I was on the road, of course, and one of the things on the road is hard to find food. So my wife and I, we have this little refrigerator that I bought years ago. It only cost me like 99 bucks, and it really works good. Takes it down in the 30s.
And you put it in the back of your
I put it in the back
SUV?
and plug it in. And then we take a little bit of food with us. So we don't actually eat on the road except in the car.
Right.
So that's why we
Saves
can
time,
kind of
too.
go straight. It saves time. Luckily, we had no traffic. So we just went. I went the first day like 15 hours, drove over 1,000 miles.
Wow.
It was really cool. Nobody on the road. I set the thing on like 78. Boom. And pretty soon I was there. And you know what? Really cool. I tried, the last trip I took, I tried to wear a compression suit. Because I use it in jiu-jitsu, and I've been using it for maybe about 6 months now. And I read an article before I left about race car drivers using compression suits to fight fatigue.
Right.
And I thought it makes so much sense. So the day of the trip, I put my compression suit on, and next thing I know, I'm up in Ohio, and I said, honey, this is unbelievable. I feel better than I've ever felt after driving 15 hours. I can't believe it.
Well, there's that new product line. It's got copper in it, too. It's like a
Yes.
little compression. I bought
Yeah.
one of those. I bought it to compress my middle. It really doesn't. But if you tell me it gives me more energy, too, maybe I'll wear it.
It really
but-
does. I've used it in cases where I've had a really, really stressful day, physically or mentally, and put it on and sleep in it.
So would it be a
really
good
works
thing to wear when you're on a plane?
I would think so. And that's
You know,
what
like
I'm gonna do,
compression
too.
socks when we fly
Compression
to Europe?
socks are essential. I had the socks, I had the long pants, had the long sleeve shirt, and I just wore something. And it cools you down, too, so you're a lot cooler. We went and visited a friend in Ohio, and I went to his door, and he says, man, aren't you hot? You know, it was about 88 degrees out. I said, no, I'm cool. He says, I know you're cool, but I mean, are you warm? Yeah, so that's good.
That's funny. Well, you know, you're talking about making good choices on food. Came across an article on mindbodygreen.com. 6 reasons why the paleo diet is great for women.
really like this article because it really stipulates, and I think you can eliminate the word women. I think this is great for everybody because of these reasons.
It is. And, you know, but I liked the way the article started because, you know, it said when we think of the paleo diet, we people have this connotation in their mind of the caveman.
Brontosaurus steaks.
Brontosaurus steaks. You know the Fred Flintstone commercials where Fred's coming home with that steak on
Bulletproof
his
coffee.
Yeah, you know, on his and in reality, folks, there's a lot of evidence that our primal paleo people were very much, you know, vegetable and eaters as well, and they were lucky if they could be fast enough to catch a meat dinner. It wasn't an everyday occurrence, in my opinion, and that's the point I wanted to make. That I think too many people have this misconception that they're eating 3 meals of you know, animal
Well, first
food
of all,
and a
I don't
huge.
think that our ancestors ate 3 meals a day.
I don't think so
I
either.
think maybe 1 or 2.
I think that's why they stayed lean. They did intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
They
And
were
did it
they were too much.
because
They were busy
food
on the
is
run.
hard to get.
Yeah.
But I do think that the first thing on their agenda is always hunting. I think sure they gathered, but they gathered more for construction materials and bettering their home. And yes, they got some greens and stuff like that.
Well, remember when we did our talk, we found out that it was a potassium-rich diet, and we know a potassium-rich diet comes through plants. And that whether they're collected or because they're eating animals that eat plants. That's why we're so focused on trying to encourage people to find sources of their animal-based proteins if you so choose to eat those that are based on what the animals do.
Much more diverse too. I think we ate a lot of insects. I think we ate worms and mealy bugs and all these things, termites. Those were part because we were connected with natures and we didn't go, eek, look at that, it's a bug, I can't eat it. No, we saw that instantly as a food source. So while we're gathering, all these small little things are what we would forage for. Because you're not going to take termites home with you. You're going to eat them probably on there. You poke a stick just like you see the monkeys.
I just have a hard time picturing myself do that, but I hear what you're saying.
Of course you would. You would. You're an earthy girl.
I'm still have not yet ordered a grasshopper protein bar. That guy that's making the...
Oh, really? No, I haven't either.
well, we should do that.
I've eaten ants.
Well, have you had the grasshopper protein?
No, never.
I mean, it's a protein bar that's based on... Okay.
I just don't believe in the protein bars. Everybody's trying to come up with these little snacks.
But it's just not likely that we're going to go catch them. But there are people that actually sell chocolate-covered...
Yeah, and I think as food shortages come about, it makes more sense to start... I mean, these insects are all around us. The problem is I don't want to be eating the insects that are in a city.
Well, you just said it, though. What you just said. When food shortages come. I just watched on the news a disgusting little snip where Jeb Bush, talking about his presidential, was basically saying... GMOs are the greatest innovation in history.
I saw that clip too.
Yeah. It's the greatest. Because now where the average farmer could only produce one loaf of bread, now we can produce 1,400. We are so lucky that we're such innovators. But hey, so I don't really care about knowing about whether or not the food is GMO'd. That's not important, folks, because that technology is helping us. But I do think it's okay to know country of origin. And I was thinking,
I know. It's frustrating. One thing I like about the political arena, I love that Donald Trump is in there because it makes all these other guys and the Republicans, especially maybe the Democrats too, look like baboons because they're all fumbling around. I saw Bush this morning, and they were asking, well, what do you think will happen if Trump is, and he's there, he looks like his brother a little bit, but he's very meek and things. I says, nobody's going to, who would want a meek guy like that? We want a strong, Not that I think the president's going to solve anything, but I think it's really interesting that Donald Trump is in there. It's going to be great for Saturday Night Live.
Well,
it's not
politics
going to improve, it's not
always
going to improve
good.
Anything, but I think it's entertaining, and I think
it's a sad truth.
It is. It's very
entertaining.
And that's what it is about here. Everything's about entertaining. Listen to the No Agenda show. This is what their whole thing is based on, is taking anything in the news and making it like Hollywood.
Okay, so let's entertain them with 6 reasons why the paleo diet is good for women and men. The paleo diet
and the first one is one that you always talk about.
I have my little sniglet.
Yes, you do, and it's the soy.
The paleo diet eliminates soy because soy is not a toy for the girl or the boy. Soy is an estrogenic compound.
Yep.
It's one of the most genetically modified foodstuffs. So that's why we want to stay.
And it causes weight gain. It causes PMS. It causes menstrual cramps.
Because it acts like estrogen in the body.
And mood disorders. And we see all that going on in our society, not just with women.
And the paleo diet eliminates sugar. Well, we just talked about that. Sugar is the cause of advanced glycation end products or ages. I mean, there you go, the etymology of words.
Yep.
You don't want any ages. And fatty liver disease. And at the root of pretty much all diseases, not just diabetes, but the metabolic syndrome, including cardiovascular disease. The paleo diet eliminates grains.
And that's a biggie, and it's not just gluten. I see all this gluten-free stuff. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about eliminating a heck of a lot more, and it really stipulates it in here, is because, grains are seeds, and seed-based products have problems for our digestive system. They cause all kinds of problems for us in the digestive. So it's not so much that the animal products and the fats that we're doing, our body can handle those things pretty easily if you're healthy. It's the grains that we really have a problem with. And beans too.
But what the question I'm going to say is that what we're seeing is the question, is it the grains or is it the processing of the grains? Namely, as MIT researcher Stephanie Seneff, one of my heroes, has shown that is the harvesting of these grains and grain-type foods that includes the spraying of Monsanto's glyphosate as a harvest enhancer. And so we can almost think of the sickle of the harvest. You know, it's a horrible spray that's being sprayed on many different grains. And so is it really the gluten sensitivity, or is it that we are not really wanting to become pesticides and our guts are rebelling?
Well, certainly, and it's also all the anti-nutrients that are in the grains. So there's just a compound toxic mess, basically.
Right, and I want to preface this because I'm entertaining some stuff based, oh, they look at that thunder. I'm entertaining some information based on Dr. Marshall's work, Blue Zone diet, of some of the questions about, you know, why are there certain societies that have thrived on diets that included grains.
Yeah.
But I think the key is it's about proper preparation.
No doubt about it, because they discovered you have to do certain things with this to get the toxins out.
And remember that with this toxic chemical pesticide soup sprayed, it doesn't really matter what you do if this isn't interfering.
If you go to the traditional people who were using these things first, like potatoes up in the Andes, and you see what they do to them and how they change them so this stuff is at least gives you calories that are not going to hurt you.
Are you aware of how you can take potatoes or rice, and it's kind of like the starch solution. You cook them, but you do not eat them. So let's say I went home today and I decided that I wanted to have rice. I was going to have some Thai food or something, and I had rice. I had sautéed vegetables or whatever. I would cook the rice, but I would put it in the refrigerator, and I would serve it tomorrow.
Right.
Okay, we're going to have to finish this. We only got through 3, so after this next break, we'll hit the other 3.
That sounds good. Number here is 877-927-6648. We will be right back. Pick up some Primal Edge. Please look at our newsletter, pick up some of those, and you'll be good to go. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Steve Rhodes as he teaches techniques on technical analysis using pattern recognition, celestial charting, Fibonacci, and other tools. The Trader's Edge, next on TFNN.
Welcome back to the show, folks. A kind of stormy day here in South Florida, and we're certainly seeing the results of that. You know, we're talking about the paleo diet, good for women, good for everybody. And the last three things I really wanted to talk about is that paleo eliminates grains, but also it puts you into a healthy omega-3 to 6 ratio, and that's very important.
And that is important, and
Yeah.
I know we've got a question from one of our listeners that we're going to answer. We'll address
Yeah,
that.
Tom,
but,
yeah.
but the omega-3 and 6s are so important, and the reason they're so important is it's very hard to get them in a safe form. So, folks, you know, if you need some help making good choices on what are your great sources, you know, contact either one of us separately. We can help you make a good choice.
Nico or Paige at TFNN.com. And the last thing is that the paleo diet is nutritionally dense, and it encourages you to stop eating when you feel like you've had enough.
Well, most people, and it's actually not the last one, there's one more, but the thing about it is that the paleo diet, because we're using sources that are satiating, that like healthy fats, you're no longer finding yourself growling and prowling and, you know, going into the refrigerator
And traveling, it's the greatest feeling in the world because you're not hungry, you're just going. I love it.
And I noticed that with a lot of people, and that's really a suspect of whether or not you're in a state of insulin resistant. It's so easy for us to become insulin resistant where the insulin is not serving its purpose, the blood sugar levels are staying high, and therefore you get the hunger. So.
Let's go to this letter I got from Tom, and I was traveling, so I couldn't really answer. It's a, "Hi, Nico. Hope you're doing well. I love your show." Great, thanks. I am currently taking the following supplements: zinc, vitamin K2, fish oil, probiotics. I am also adding onion, red pepper, and spinach every morning to the omelet. Very good. The more I find out about Primal Edge, I could do away with the vegetables, which seem to only transform into water instead of fuel for the body, and the supplements. Well, they do have fuel. They're carbohydrates, so they are our fuel.
I think he's misinterpreting what we meant when we said that standard carbohydrates. But keep in mind, folks, you know, there are very powerful vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. And I'm going to use the word phytochemicals. Although our Primal Edge, we can deliver a lot of the minerals and the vitamins and cofactors and even some amino acids and synergists. We've done an amazing job with this. And there's great National Institute of Health research. What we know is that the phytochemicals, also known as found in the pigments of foods, great choice choosing a red pepper, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The phytochemicals are locked in the cellulose fiber. So let's use the term energy plus substance. So
I would say don't do away with your vegetables. You need them, and the ones you're picking are great ones. They're not the throwaway vegetables that I call, and you're not using any starches, and you've done away with the grains. You're on the right track. You know, budgeting the Primal Edge, if you can do that, I would take it every single day. That's what I do. It's the best thing out there, and it makes me feel good. On our trip, it was a godsend, I'll tell you that.
And we did not choose this lightly, folks. I want to make this kind of comment about Primal Edge. Let me me just say about Primal Edge. You know, there's a lot of companies that we could have chosen to formulate this, but this was a very special choice, and it was with someone who's had great experience in having a major transformation in their own health, and is a very well-educated bioscientist and biochemist. And if you compared this to many other products, you'd find that it is actually much less expensive.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you to continue, Tom, with those vegetables, the power of allicin as another phytochemical that you get in the onion. But fish oil, look for a DHA source, perhaps from algae or maybe krill.
That's why I just started ordering the algae instead of the krill.
Why don't you just get it from me?
I can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, because I've got one that we run through a spectrometer. But my point is that you want to get really pure sources, because those are so easily rancidified, and that's one of the reasons why so many
the vitamin K2, the zinc supplements, the probiotics, all that stuff is in the Primal Edge, as well as the fish oil. And you can add other fish oil if you wish through krill or through the algae oil would be recommended. Anyway, you're going to answer this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your letter.
Thanks a lot, folks. Sorry we had a tough time here because of electronics, but hey, we're still here. We're Primal.
Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.